And lastly, we are going to touch on Diddy Puff, who oddly enough has a person who has come to his defense in Suge Knight, perhaps one of the last people that anybody would think is coming to Diddy Puff's defense.
Seriously.
Suge Knight thinks that it's a bad time for hip hop with these allegations aimed at Diddy Puff. He thinks it's a dark time for hip hop, not a good time that we are dealing with these allegations on the part of Diddy Puff, the Diddler, Puff Daddy, Diddy
Hmm.
Love, all the other monikers, all the other monikers that he chooses to go by these days. But Suge thinks it makes everybody in hip. He thinks it makes hip hop look bad. He thinks it makes all of hip hop look bad. He thinks that the allegations are just bad for hip hop in general. So, providing a little context here, this says Suge Knight admits Diddy allegations are bad for hip hop. It makes us all look bad. Suge Knight says he was disappointed when he learned of the allegations against his longtime rival, Diddy. Speaking with Harvey Levin for TMZ's The Downfall of Diddy special on Tubi, the co-founder of Death Row Records explained why he wasn't celebrating when he learned of the lawsuits Rodney, Lil Rod Jones Jr., Cassie, and more filed against the Bad Boy mogul. My first reaction, it's not the reaction I thought I would have when it came to Puffy, Knight said, as noted by Complex. I thought it'd be a reaction like he got what he got coming because everybody know what's been going on. My reaction was actually different because I felt like, damn. The first thing that came to my mind was he has his sons, he has his daughters. My reaction was first about the kids. The thing is, I feel it's a bad day for hip hop, a bad day for the culture because it makes us all look bad. When Harvey Levin appeared surprised about Knight's reaction, he explained he doesn't enjoy watching his enemy's downfall. I'm not the type of guy to cheer for people's downfall, he added. If somebody gets killed or something happens to them, I'm not going to pop champagne bottles. If I have a problem with Puffy, that's for him and I to sit down in a room and to resolve it. So for the tragedy on both sides, to the victims, to him, that's definitely not nothing to cheer about. Check out the trailer for TMZ's The Downfall of Diddy below. Um, Diddy and his legal team have denied any wrongdoing amid the allegations, as well as Homeland Security's raids on his Los Angeles and Miami properties. Diddy has not been charged with any crimes, blah, 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 blah. So, what do you make of Suge?
Uh, I think that yeah, it's not a good look for hip hop. Overall, it just makes the whole industry look like a cesspool, but it makes it look like that way because, well, it is. So, it is embarrassing if you had a stake in it like he did. It just makes everybody look at everybody sideways. So that would make people look at him and his legacy sideways. So of course he's not going to be, in favor for that. Even though he's doing time and all this other stuff. Um, there's going to be things written about this in the future, documentaries on it in the future, and it's not a good look legacy wise. But it needed to happen because it was foolishness going on, apparently, allegedly. So since there was all this foolishness going on, it did need to be, in order for the genre to change and go in the right direction. I feel as though there needs to be a certain level of transparency of what was going on in the industry and what types of things were not only allowed but promoted. And that's just behind closed doors when we start to talk about Diddy like behaviors. But we've also talked about before, on previous topics, about just major labels' influence on the genre and those various things. And these things were going on allegedly with major label things and entities who were aware of this type of behavior. And if it wasn't going on with Diddy, it's going on in other avenues within the music industry. And it does shed a light on the industry that's not very flattering or appealing. And so yeah, if your name is just being in the industry and having a career, people are going to start looking and say, hey, what'd you do for that? Are you actually legit? Are you this and that? So it isn't a good look, uh, as far as like publicity is concerned. But I do like all of this. I feel like all of this is necessary. It's a necessary cleanse that need to happen within that industry. And I'm pretty sure it's going to continue to have its levels of corruption. But I think that the people knowing or having an inside look on what to look for and what to expect from corruption in the music industry, I think that people needed that lens that this case opened up. So whenever we see, a 43-year-old man hanging around a 13-year-old boy talking about he coming to my flavor camp, I think people are going to start asking questions now. And in the past, people just letting stuff slide. So I think that this is good. It's much needed. I think there needs to be more things that are divulged about this industry and stuff like that. So just the consumers, so they can have a more fighting chance. Because before all of this stuff, and before there was even information about these things even allegedly happening, people were just buying this music hook, line, and sinker. And so at least these types of allegations and this kind of brouhaha would make people that weren't even into this, make them look at it a different way and go, hey, man, what are you guys really doing? And what are you guys really promoting in your music? So Suge, yeah, he can have a problem with it. But me, the everyday man, I love this. And I feel like more needs to be exposed, to be honest. So what are your thoughts on Suge Knight feeling like this is a bad look for hip hop? Diddy Puff getting locked up.
I don't think it's as bad a look as the music that he was responsible for perpetuating during his heyday. I think that was an even worse look.
Yeah, agreed.
I can talk about how the allegations against Puff are problematic, but these things are more so of an eyesore when it comes to the industry and not necessarily a referendum on the industry as a whole. Um, Look at the stuff that went on in Hollywood with Me Too, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, and the rest of those creeps. Um, that was like that was an eye-opening thing that exposed a lot of the bad, corrupt stuff that was going on in the film industry. But I don't necessarily look at it as a dark day for the film industry because it continues to thrive. And I mean, no one is really looking at it as like this thing really set the film industry back all those years. I kind of look at these allegations in a similar fashion. Like, it's a bad look for him and it's an eyesore. So I'm not going to be dismissive towards the idea that it's an eyesore. It's a bad look, but I don't know if it's like the dark day, the doom and gloom scenario that he's trying to paint it out to be.
Yeah.
I think it's more so of an eyesore on the industry as opposed to a referendum on the industry overall.
I agree.
However, what I do think is a referendum on the industry as a whole, and it's ironic that it's coming from him, is when you hang people over balconies of hotel rooms threatening death in order for you to get your way. That's a bad look for the industry. When you're threatening physical violence because you want certain songs cleared, or when you're trying to enforce your own brand of label politics by threatening physical violence if things don't go your way, that's worse than what Diddy's got going on, in my opinion. And on top of all of those things, he was at the head of a record label that was popularizing a particular form of music within this genre that made it cool and mainstream to, talk about, putting poison into your own neighborhoods and, willfully committing crimes because it's fun and not because it's your only option, and trying to end the lives of people in those very same neighborhoods that you live in. These were all themes inherent in a lot of the music that was coming out when Death Row Records was at its peak.
Agreed.
And so I'm not necessarily trying to downplay, because it's music. To me, all of this stuff is entertainment. So I'm not trying to say that was the worst thing in the world as well. But those habits and those trends started way back 20, 30 years ago. Those were more of a referendum on the music itself, and how we're at a dark time in the music now because of a lot of what that started. This stuff is just creepy crawly, weirdo stuff. If it's found out that this stuff is true, hey man, he'll be dealt with. The law the law will deal with him in whatever way is best suited. all that good stuff. But this music stuff is going to keep on rolling with or without him here. It will. Like
Mhm.
this hip hop stuff will continue whether Diddy is here or not. And whether Diddy is here or not, it will continue to popularize murder, death, kill. Not because it's a part of the music that needs to be here, because granted, it is an aspect of the content that is necessary, in my opinion, and I do understand that. But does it need to be popularized to the point where it's the only mainstream version of the content of the music? In my opinion, no. But that's what we got going on. And that trend started with people like him 30 years ago. And that to me has had a greater detrimental effect on hip hop and rap music than whatever the diddler had going on with his freak offs.
Agreed.
So it's a matter of perspective, and it's where you place the point of emphasis. In my opinion, I look at the content of the music and what was popularized going back 20, 30 years with these record labels and people like him, and what he was responsible for perpetuating directly. And I look at people like Diddy Puff and I say, hey, it is what it is. It's ugly, but we see this kind of stuff going on all the time. There's creeps in Hollywood. There's creeps in the tech industry. There's creeps in the financial industry. There's creeps in the real estate industry. When we find the creeps, we need to eradicate the creeps, and I'm all for that. But how big of a deal is it juxtaposed to the real bad stuff, in my opinion, or the real detrimental stuff? To me, it's not as big a deal. And I just look at it that way. And I hear where he's coming from because he's trying to rehabilitate himself. So I get it, but I think he had a heavier hand to play in the darkness of hip hop compared to whatever Diddy had going on with his freak offs.
Yeah, I think they're both up there, man. I don't know if I want to put him in the four horsemen category, but he might have to go up there because he damn sure was an antagonist
Yeah.
in the 90s. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw him up there because he was yeah he was up there and he was being a major antagonist. That whole East Coast West Coast thing. I'm not gonna give him sole blame, but he was fanning those flames. And yeah, and he was a tyrant, and everybody knew this before all of that stuff. So um, I didn't care for all the murder gangster stuff coming out of California at the time. I didn't like it, even as a young person. I felt like it was too aggressive. I didn't know why they were doing that at the time. I didn't get it. And I was like, yeah, yeah, well, I'll kill you. And I was like, I just wanted to dance when I was little, man. Yeah, I just wanted to dance, and I couldn't dance to that. And I was like, man, they talking about killing people and stuff. Like, what is this? So yeah, he's definitely had a major hand in the garbage that proliferated our genre and influenced future generations. So yeah, he's just as guilty, and that's what I said. This ruins his cupcake legacy because what people were going to do is they were going to look back in the past and say, and Suge Knight, one of the biggest street gangsters who ever turned around to be a record label executive. And it's like, now those glorification videos, people are gonna look at this whole generation as y'all was some weirdos. And because everybody knows, I ain't gonna say nothing about Suge. Suge always came off a little, what I'm saying, strange as a person. So if he participated in his own diddler type of things out there on the West Coast, I wouldn't be surprised either. So I think that this is just an overall, like you say, a black eye for the industry. But I hope it's in the right type of way because now, again, like you mentioned with the Hollywood stuff, people just know that now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And people really know what's going on, and people like they're not naive to it anymore. Before it was like, is it up to chance? And it's like, no, there's a casting couch. No, you're gonna have to give it up. You're not giving it up. Okay, well, we're not gonna see you no more. And so I think people could piece together the stars that made it versus the stars that didn't. And people could start putting some things together. Maybe they didn't sleep with the right person, and that's kind of going to be the thing. And I'm not surprised that it went on in the rap industry, males included. Boy, that boy Meek, I'm gonna throw him in every comment. But hey, some guys give it up for the bag. So yeah, it does put a little stain on it, but I'm here for it, man. And I feel like people need to wake up, and that this was a lot of the people still looked up to a lot of these people. We've been stopped doing that. But there was
Yeah.
people that was there was dudes out there that we would call solid that looked up to Diddy before all of this. And then now it's like, damn, man. Now he's looking at Diddy differently and looking at the industry differently. And we needed this. So I agree with you. And yeah, and I think the streets needed this. But yeah, he needs to get out of here. Very, very ironic.
Yeah, I would put them in the same boat too. I think that
Mhm.
they're both a part of the
Garbage.
yeah, they are a part, they are at the head of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They both are scourges upon the industry, I would say. Because they were both tyrannical. They
Yes.
both ran their ships like a plantation, and they were the
Yes.
Calvin Candies, respectively, on each of their plantations.
Yes.
Running roughshod of talent, and running roughshod of people who just wanted to have a career and do a good job,
Yep.
threatening people, all kind of stuff like that. So I just kind of feel like, yeah, whatever, bro. Yeah, it's a dark day, but those comments were made by you because you're trying to rehabilitate yourself at this point. I feel, because you have to know that you played a heavy role in a lot of the darkness that we see, you know, going around today. A lot of that stuff started a long time ago when you were in your heyday, man. So um, I'm here for the exposure too, but you know me, man. I gotta call out these hypocrites whenever I
A
can.
100, bro. I give it 100. No
I ain't here with
complaint
that.
there.
Yeah, I ain't here with that, man. All right, but on that note, man, we are going to go ahead and close out, man. Another stream in the books. This was great content, great stuff, great topics. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate the brother Marcus Dudley as always, and appreciate everybody who has joined us along for the ride as we continue to crank out this logical comment. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Because we are here and we are out here. We continue to rock and roll, man. Conscious Approach is on Instagram at Con Approach. CONAPPROACH, and your boy's also there as well. JV Wins, JVWINS. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts as we continue to upload these RSS feeds and go live with the audio files, man. We got a lot of content that we are going to be cranking out each and every day, each and every week. So join us, man. It's a lot of good stuff, man. We have a blast doing this. Thank you for joining the tribe. We appreciate everybody who is a part of the community. We'll see you on the next video. But until then, please, 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 people, think for yourself. Don't be a group thinker. Don't go with the wave. Think for yourself. Do your research and let the chips fall where they may. Go Nuggets.
1,000, bro. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Also on TikTok, Dogon_SS over there as well. And as I say on every pod, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot, man. And like my dog JV Wynn said, boy, have a mind for yourself. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yes, sir, man. Until the next video, we are out of here. Go Heat. Give us one, man. We're going to get one more. I don't care. We're getting one more.
Hey, baby. Heat Nation. Let's go.
That's right. We out, man. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Hey, yo, shout out Jamal Murray dunking all over that boy helmet. I said, I was in this thing going crazy over here, man. Oh, my goodness.